Hello everyone, my name is Alpha. Welcome to Plummysims and welcome to today's speed build. I hope you're doing well and having such a fantastic day. So today we are building in the world of Mount Komorebi, which is the world that came with the Snowy Escape expansion pack. And I'm sorry if you heard that, that's just my phone. I forgot to put it on silent. But today we're building a restaurant, or more like two restaurants, because we have two different buildings here. So I thought that we could do like a double restaurant type of situation, because it's quite common to have something like this in one like medium-sized lot in Japan. At least that's what I learned from my research. And it's going to be like a smaller restaurant type of a build, but my idea was to have like authentic Japanese restaurant, but it's more like artisan restaurant, if that makes sense. It's not super fancy, it's more like traditional like house cook, something like that, but their food are amazing, so they decided just to open up some restaurants, something like that. And one of the restaurants supposed to be more focused on sushi type of menu, and the other one supposed to be more like ramen and udon and basically ramen in general, like ramen. And I had this idea because I remembered one day, or more like one night, that I had the best ramen noodle ever in my entire life, and I love to try out like different like ramen house and taste different like ramens basically. And I had this like collagen broth ramen. It's like a soup based ramen, and it's so good. I couldn't even explain how good it is, because I asked some of my friends to try it and they loved it. So it's very warm, very rich in flavor. It's creamy but not too thick, if that makes sense. It's so creamy but it's still delicious and warm, and I feel like it's very heartwarming, something like that. And that's basically why I decided to go build this lot, or this build. And I love Japanese food myself, especially ramen. Of course, I love chicken katsu so much. I love egg rolls. I love what is that? Oh my god, teppanyaki. I love teriyaki. I love yakiniku. Japanese shabu. I love them. But if I had to pick one, it's going to be ramen. I love ramen so much. I like sushi, but not as much as I love ramen. And there's this food, I'm not sure the exact name of that, but I'm pretty sure it was like a baby octopus, and it's so delicious. I know it sounds a bit strange to eat baby octopus, but it's so good. Like, it's so good. There's this like restaurant chain called Sushi Day in my country that has the best baby octopus ever. It's very like ridiculously expensive, but it's so good, and I could eat like 3 of them in one sitting. So that explains how much I love them. And for this build we have two buildings, as I mentioned. So one of them is supposed to be more modern, and the other one, which is this one over here, is supposed to be more like traditional, like basically like traditional looking. And the kitchen space is very small, but it worked okay, except for one thing. And that thing was basically when I was playtesting this build, and I always playtest my build every single time I finish with a build. And I couldn't find where the hosts are, because normally there will be at least a host. If I put one host station, it would be like at least one host, but there was not, like nothing, like not even one. And I wasn't really sure what caused that, because I had two host stations here, and I On the first place, I thought it was the cost because I put more than one host station, but after I deleted it, I re-downloaded this from the gallery and download it from the gallery, but try it on other lots. It's still happening, so I'm not sure why caused that, but I don't know why, but hopefully it's just my game. And as far as I have this game for at least 2-3 years, maybe since I got Dine Out, or maybe 4 years, I'm not sure, but it's been a very long time since I had Dine Out. But I couldn't really find a reason why it happened on me, because I have zero issue with Dine Out, except for it takes so long to get your meals be brought to you. Basically, it's just the only issue that I had. But when I was playtesting this build, it wasn't the case anymore. My sim couldn't eat and order food because I can't claim a table, which is so strange, because the first thing you had to do when you arrived at a restaurant in The Sims, you had to claim a table or ask the hosts to give you some tables, basically that, but you can't claim one, which is so stressful. And hopefully it's just my game, but I will make sure to playtest this build again to make sure everything's alright, everything is working as they supposed to be, before I put this onto the gallery, because the last thing I want is after I publish a build or any of my builds onto the gallery, someone had some issues, and I learned the hard way before. So yeah, I just wanted to have workable build, even with I don't know, a bunch of playtesting. I still had that issue. So hopefully after I replace it onto my other saves, it works. But that's just a little heads up on that. And if I sound a bit rambly, that's because this is my third time doing this voiceover. Oh my god, I was so stressed because the first time I did this voiceover, the file got corrupted and I couldn't use it because it got corrupted, of course. And the second one, I had some trouble with the audio. I'm not sure why. It's very, I don't know, basically it sounded like if I talk to you from an aquarium bowl, something like that, which is so bad. And I had to make sure if this is okay, and if it's not okay, I'm going to just do a little bit more recording, just one more, the last one recording. It's going to be a very short recording, and I will put some music, background music, onto the video because I couldn't talk that much. My throat hurts a bit because I've talked too much, but that's just the art of doing speed builds and voiceover. But this is the second restaurant, and it's supposed to be more modern. And actually I was thinking to have a kotatsu setup, but the way that I shaped the build and the floor plan just doesn't make sense to have kotatsu table. So I thought that we could do that. We could save that idea for future builds, but just not for this build because it just doesn't make sense. And even though I had a dinner, I think early dinner in a restaurant that has this kotatsu setup, it's a huge, a really huge outdoor restaurant, so it has plenty of space to work with, and we just don't have that luxury here on this build because I decided to have it as smaller builds. That's why. But hopefully I can do more basically bigger builds, bigger restaurant in the future in this lot, for this, not for this lot, but for this world, but that has this kotatsu setup, because I think it's such a really cool idea and I want to implement that in The Sims because it's very common to have it in real life, especially because I'm Asian and it's common to eat on the floor here, at least for me in my country. At least that's what I being thought of. At least that's what my like huge family normally do, where we gather in one giant room. So we basically just like eat on the floor. It's totally normal, but if it doesn't sound appealing to you, it's totally fine. We just have different like cultures, and we have different traditions. It's totally fine. I just want to build something like that in the future, but basically not in like near future. But on the back we have this kind of like outdoor space for the stuff. I think it's supposed to be like a shared backyard, shared staff lounge backyard space. I think that's the correct term. Basically you can put your stuff there to hang out, and maybe they can just like have lunch, or maybe like have some breaks there. And I know it's the Sims, so it doesn't really matter if you have like stuff for you or not, because they can't tell which one is supposed for the guests and which one is supposed to be for the stuffs. But I think for like some realism, I wanted to add that, and that's why we have that in the back. And that's basically it. I think we just have to finishing up the build with some landscaping and terrain paints, and we'll be heading on to the screenshot. So if you'd like to download this build, this is already available on the gallery. My ID is elfathiera, or you can find it under the hashtag plummysims. You can also click the download link on the description box below that will bring you to my Ko-fi blog post. It'll have two different links. The first one is the gallery download link, and the other one is a tray fast link from Elfathiera. So yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and by the way, I just got my first Max's favorite build, which is the Sulani rental one. I will link it on the description box below in case you want to check that out. I don't know how it happened, but thank you so very much. It's truly an honor to me, and I hope you can enjoy my future builds. But yeah, I really hope you find this video inspiring and the build useful to your game, and if you do, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Also make sure to be subscribed to the channel if you haven't already, because it will help me a lot. And if you'd like to, you can also ring the bell so you'll be notified every single time I upload a new video. So yeah, I'm going to go now. Thank you so very much for hanging out with me today and supporting me. I hope you have the very best day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!
Fall is coming, I can feel it. The breeze brings goosebumps to my skin. Tonight the whiskey feels stronger. Gasoline on hidden desires. So I'll throw